I'm going to attempt to actually pour it beautifully. I'm going to try a slow pour of it.
I think there's absolutely no way
I can do a slow pour. I can't do a slow drink.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, you know what? I didn't do too poorly.
You didn't do too poorly.
Not bad.
Too poorly? Really?
Hey, caught that. Sorry. Yes, we did.
Syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should have.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room, guys. Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 14th, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, everybody. And happy National Biscuits and Gravy Day.
Happy National Biscuits and Gravy Day. Well, you're always eating something. Tonight it's biscuits and gravy because it's National Biscuits and Gravy Day. That means I must have a banner for it. Hold on.
You must
there
have
it
a
is.
banner for
Look
it.
at
Yeah.
that. Happy National Biscuits and Gravy Day. And I spelled biscuits correctly, too. Look at that.
Hey, the rest is gravy.
The rest is all gravy. That's horrible.
I'm sorry. Couldn't resist.
Yeah. That's really bad.
No,
It's almost as bad as some of the jokes I make.
Almost.
You know what I did? Actually, I invented a new air freshener that's thought controlled.
Really?
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it.
Ba-dum.
Okay, you had to think about it, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
I just had to think about how am I going to react to this?
I know, you don't want to
boom,
react.
Am I going to
Anyway.
applaud the drum shot?
That's
He'll
horrible.
be here all week. Try
gotta
the
rim
deal.
shot.
Tip your bartenders.
All right. Twice on Tuesdays.
Twice. Yes, definitely twice on Tuesdays because there's two of us.
Exactly.
And there's two for Tuesday.
So
no, I love biscuits and gravy, and
biscuits and gravy are good. I got to tell you, biscuits and gravy are good. It doesn't matter the meal too. You can do it for breakfast. You can do it for dinner.
Yeah, definitely for both. I'm doing it for dinner right now.
Clearly. Yeah.
And the thing with biscuits and gravy, you got to get breakfast sausage that's good and fatty, because otherwise, it's not going to soak up the flour. It's not going to make the roux. It's not going to. It's not going to thicken the
exactly
the milk. It's just going to be.
You got the shittier
fat.
The sausage, the better.
I wouldn't say shittier. It's
Not shitty flavor. Just
yes, the unhealthiest.
The unhealthier the sausage, the better.
Yes,
right?
Yes, that's what you're looking for.
Exactly.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
fat content on it.
Sure.
And man, lots and lots of black pepper.
It's always a good thing.
Good to go. This is my grandfather's favorite thing.
It's good. You know what makes really good biscuits and gravy actually near me? I mean, there's a lot of places that make great.
Is that the place right down from Bradley?
Yeah, right in the corner there. The butter biscuit. There you go.
Butter biscuit.
There you go.
They better make good biscuits.
You better make good biscuits and gravy too. They make their own homemade corned beef hash too. It's amazing.
Oh, I love corned beef hash.
So good.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stuff out of the can is just dog food, basically.
Exactly. So anyway, isn't it another day today?
It is another day. It is National Screwdriver Day.
It's Happy National Screwdriver Day. So I have one.
Oh,
right.
Not that kind of screwdriver.
No?
No.
You said it's National Screwdriver Day. I have a screwdriver.
Yeah, no. It's and I need your screwdriver. I can't get the lid off my shaker, so I'm going to do it the old school way.
Oh, lovely.
We're talking this kind of screwdriver right here.
Oh, okay. So you need my Phillips head screwdriver to get the lid off of that? Is there a screw?
Oh, is that a Phillips?
It's a Phillips, yeah.
That's not going to help.
That's not.
So cheers.
Cheers to you. You're going to start off the beer podcast with a vodka drink. That's good.
A vodka drink, a whiskey drink, a cider drink.
There you go. Brian's commenting in already. He says, "Is this the biscuit and gravy show now?" No,
yes,
not at all.
No.
It's the biscuit and screwdriver show now.
And
Get it straight. Exactly.
2 parts vodka, 5 parts OJ.
5 parts vodka, 2 parts OJ. Is that what you said?
Sometimes.
It depends on how hard a day you've had.
Or usually by the fourth one, it's 5 parts vodka, 2 parts OJ.
That's true too. Yeah, that's good. So anyway,
so to your point earlier, I am having breakfast for dinner.
Well, there you go. You got it covered. You got your OJ. You got your juice going. You got your.
Now, what do you think about breakfast for dinner?
I've eaten breakfast for dinner before. Absolutely. Why not? Good omelet. I've eaten pancakes and sausage or pancakes and bacon for dinner. Why the hell not?
Nothing wrong with that.
Usually not at home. I don't make it at home. But if I'm out, go to a diner or something like that. You know what? I'm just in the mood for breakfast. Boom, I order it. Done.
Yeah. What about dinner for breakfast?
Oh, well, I mean, steak and eggs. Sure. But depends on what you put in the omelet or with your eggs. But it could be constituted as dinner. That's for sure.
What about hungover frozen pizza?
Oh, absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
refrigerated pizza, cold
You
pizza.
ever put beer in Fruit Loops?
I've done it the other way around.
Fruit Loops and beer? No, no. I'm not talking about Bolero's beer. I'm talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
I'm talking about actual bowl of Fruit Loops, pour beer in it.
My college roommate, Bill, that was his hangover cure.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it tasted awful.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get Captain Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
I'd make a Clue and cream and pour the Clue and cream over top the Captain Crunch.
Same principle, same idea. So, but
Same idea, but it tastes a hell of a lot better.
I've had Fruit Loops and beer a couple of times, though. It actually tasted decent, and I have a feeling that's because I was still drunk, but that's besides the point.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't even a hangover cure. It was just more food after sleeping for a while. So, anyway. All right.
Well, we need another opinion on breakfast for dinner.
We should get another opinion on breakfast for dinner. Why don't we bring in our guest for today's show?
That's how we get a third opinion. We get a tiebreaker. Well, we don't need a tiebreaker because we almost agree.
We both agree with that. Let's see if she agrees or if she doesn't, folks. Our guest tonight is none other than Pint Size Leah from
Pint Size
Leah. Yes, that's her name. So from Leah from Mechanical Brewing. Let's bring her on. There she is. How are you, Leah?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. Here, let me put your moniker. Leah Rebecca, a.k.a. Pint Size Leah. She's the taproom manager for Mechanical Brewery in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So welcome to the show, Leah. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
welcome.
Absolutely. Definitely wanted to.
Your opinion on breakfast for dinner?
So I am not a big breakfast food person in general. I'm like notorious for eating like pizza for breakfast and like tacos for breakfast.
Tacos. You know what? Yeah, I gotta tell you, I've had that a lot. Tacos for breakfast are actually really good.
I mean, I like breakfast food, but I'm more like cold leftovers from the night before.
There's someone living in this house that would agree with you.
Yeah, I have a very weird diet.
Well, you know what?
I've never seen him eat breakfast for breakfast.
I got to be honest with you. Cold leftovers for breakfast are actually obviously a hell of a lot easier because all you have to do is open up the fridge, take them out, and eat them.
Yeah.
Done. No prep work, no nothing. Just take it out. Pizza. As you're walking to the couch, you're opening the foil and boom, done. And the cold pepperoni pizza is better than cold regular pizza too, because that grease that lays on top of it just adds a nice crunch to the pizza while you bite into it. It's great.
Foil. I just put the whole box right in the fridge.
How many slices do you have left from the night before?
I don't care if there's just one slice. The whole box goes in the fridge.
The whole box won't fit in my fridge. I got too much beer in the fridge. I can't fit the box in there.
Yeah.
So I have a beer fridge.
We got a couple of comments here. We're going to throw these up really quick. Dave Campanelle said, breakfast or dinner is the absolute shit, especially New Jersey diner.
I haven't even drank yet.
Yeah, right.
New Jersey Diner food.
New Jersey diner food.
Yeah.
New Jersey diner food. Absolutely. I agree with you.
No, Jersey diners. I mean, I've always said the best Jersey diners are run by Greeks. If you walk in and you don't see baklava on the case line,
leave.
Go find another diner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, every time.
Tom Mulvihill, Beer Whisperer, says, I'm all about breakfast or dinner. Absolutely, Tom.
He just made it the other night, as a matter of fact.
He actually did. Yeah, the ham hocks.
His wife made waffles, and he did his eggs medium over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they did that, yeah. And then he also said he's been known to eat cold pizza for breakfast. So there you go. He agrees both ways on that one.
There we go.
And Brian, one of our producers, wants to let Leah know that she seems regular size to him.
Well, that's good to know. It's always funny when like people finally meet me in person or they pop into the brewery. They're always like, "Wow, you really are pint size." Like, yeah.
Well, it's the chair. It's the chair you're sitting on.
Yeah, 5 foot on a good day. I like to say.
So, how tall are you?
5 foot.
You said it. Yeah, 5 foot.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
On a good day.
I heard it after you said it. So.
No worries.
5 foot on a good day.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, great. Hey, before we get started, why don't we open up a beer because I'm really thirsty.
Oh, then I got to finish this.
And well, you can. Why don't you use this as a chaser, or use the beer as a chaser for that? Just finish it. Yeah, I was gonna go. I knew that was gonna happen.
Have you met me?
Yeah, well, exactly. So, all right, Lee, why don't you tell us what you're drinking while Dave swallows his screwdriver?
It's gone.
So I am drinking.
Go swallow your screwdriver, John.
I'll swallow my screwdriver. Right?
I have our
Carnival
Alpha's lawnmower, our Goza.
Oh, that's a good beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy drinker.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yep.
I wish, as I said to you before, I wish I had a chance to get down to the brewery before we did the show today because I would have picked up some to have on the show. But unfortunately, I do apologize. I am, again, wearing the shirt, and I will be drinking out of that glass. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Show off.
Well, there you go.
Brown noser.
Samurai, why don't you say what you're drinking?
Well, since John and I were at Source over the weekend,
Yep. We did a
Okay.
show from Source on Friday. We did the Lager Day
yes,
show on Friday from Source. So we did pick up a few 4-packs while we were there.
and
So
if you didn't catch it, we spent a good portion of it bugging a brewer who was trying to work. Sorry, Jeremy.
Jeremy was fine with it. He really
Yes,
was.
he was. But it's always fun bugging Jeremy, especially when he's trying to work. So I picked up one that just really intrigued me. And it's the season. It's a fruitcake milkshake IPA.
Ooh.
So actually, that's the front of the can. I always show the backs of the can, don't I?
Yeah.
That's
It's
the front.
just a bigger label and a smaller. Yeah, you got to do the small one. That's fine.
Well, especially if we got Pint Size Leah on, you got to do the
smaller one.
the Pint Size Leah
Exactly.
label. There we go.
Exactly.
So this one, I actually drank one already. I'm not surprised. It's pretty solid.
There you go. Let's see that pour. While you pour that, Doug Smith wrote in. He says, pork roll and egg sandwich for dinner. Absolutely. All day, every day.
So he must be from South Jersey.
I was going to say he used the right term.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He did.
It's funny because we brought this up on the show a few times. Johnny was born in Taylor Ham, but he lives in Pork Roll now. I was born in Pork Roll, but now I live in Taylor Ham. So him and I have to watch ourselves when we order locally.
That's funny.
First time when I first moved down here, the first time I went in somewhere to order it, I go, "Can I have two? Excuse me, pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches." So
people take it very seriously.
Oh yeah.
They'd be like, "I don't know what you just ordered."
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Jersey is the only place that you can get shanked for what we call you call
Oh
breakfast
yeah,
food.
in North Jersey. Can I get a pork roll and cheese? A what? A pork roll and cheese. What's that? I'm sorry, a Taylor ham and cheese. Oh sure, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're not cutting Taylor ham, or Taylor pork roll, So
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I will be drinking. I didn't even put your crawl up, did I, Samurai? There you go. That's the
Does it
fruitcake
matter?
milkshake. No, probably not.
I showed like 4 sides of the can.
This is true. I will be drinking a collab, actually. No farms, no beer. This is a collab with Screaming Hill Brewing in Cream Ridge, New Jersey. It's all local grain and hops and everything else. It's a Munich Dunkel.
And I didn't grow up too far from Screaming Hill.
You didn't. You grew up pretty damn close to Screaming Hill.
Yeah, Jackson borders Cream Ridge.
It does.
I think you can get really drunk there and stumble into Jackson if you're not careful.
There you go. It's hold on, I gotta take the cursory picture here. The obligatory picture.
There we go. It's not compulsory is the word you're looking for.
Compulsory.
We've been over this.
Compulsory, obligatory.
You didn't realize it's going to be grammar classes.
It's all the same. It's all the same. So anyway, I don't hide that now. What you call it? So let me take a sip of that. Oh, it's pretty tasty. Oh, good knuckle. I love knuckles. And look at that. I'm actually drinking a lager on the show.
I will not be drinking
Imagine
a lager
that.
today.
I have a lager on deck.
And you have a lager on deck. My second's not a lager. So anyway.
But we definitely drank lagers over the weekend.
We did. We did. And Brian actually commented on that show. He said, it definitely looked like the Bother the Brewer show, he said.
Oh, well, we got to do more of those.
We're going to have to do a lot more of those, exactly. So anyway.
Brian had a lot of feedback on the show. I saw him at Bolero on Friday night.
Yeah.
So we'll cover. Apparently there was an echo.
Yeah, I think your phone was too close to mine.
Yes.
I think is what because my phone picked up me and your phone picked up me. So,
yeah.
There you go. But anyway, you were not too close to my phone. I was too close to yours is what it was. But anyway, enough about that crap. Leah's here. Let's talk to her. Let's talk about
Mechanical Brewing.
Let's talk about Mechanical Brewing and Pint Size Leah.
Let's start with her first.
Let's start with Leah. Leah, we'll start with the question we ask everybody, and everybody,
Now, what's this? You ask.
I start with the question I ask everybody. How's that?
There we go.
Okay.
It's the royal we. You and I. It's the show. Okay.
Oh,
That's
we're
what I
royalty
meant.
now.
We're royalty. Absolutely. We're beer royalty. Absolutely. Anyway, what's the first craft beer you can remember having? It can be an ish.
God. So I always give credit to Ethan over at Stickman Brews in Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He was doing an awful lot of home brewing essentially while he was in college. And I just recall him bringing home like wheat beers and like all these other varieties of beer that it wasn't my Rolling Rock or Yingling I was drinking.
Right.
And I was like, what's a wheat beer? And I was instantly so intrigued. And then I remember in college, I lived right by Two Roads. And it was so cool watching that develop and all of a sudden seeing their cans in liquor stores. And I'll never forget, like, buying my first IPA and going home and drinking it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, this is not like anything I've ever had before.
Sure, yeah. Tastes a little different from Rolling Rock.
Yeah, it was really cool, but it intrigued me to keep trying more. And then as Ethan got more involved in the beer industry, and he then started brewing for like Church Brew Works in Pittsburgh and continued growing his experience.
Was just there a few months ago, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah, we just did a Pittsburgh trip too.
That's right.
But yeah, so it's really cool. I owe Ethan a lot of credit for my, I would say, obsession with the craft beer industry.
So you cut your teeth on homebrews.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's
that is absolutely a first.
Really? That's so funny.
Absolutely a first.
I remember like sitting around his like parents' kitchen table and all of us sitting there, and he had them in like these like jugs. They were clearly old like water jugs that he just loaded with beer and would bring them home with him from Pittsburgh. And
easy.
Yeah, that was definitely the door. And I remember that like crazy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely a first. That's for sure. So was that what, like, I mean, clearly, I mean, everybody always has like that defining moment that like they're hooked, they're in. Mm-hmm. This is it. You know, I'm in this industry, whether it's just to drink it or whether I want to make a career out of it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Was that your defining moment? Was that, you know?
Oh, for sure.
It was,
especially once like Two Roads opened by me up in college, I was like, wow, like I could hang out at a brewery. Like this is a thing. And then moving home for the summer, like once I graduated in 2014, breweries were just becoming like a really big thing in New Jersey. Like I remember Flying Fish like moving and getting that new beautiful location in Summerdale. Mm-hmm. And then Forgotten Boardwalk moved in, and now all of a sudden like everyone's going to Forgotten Boardwalk. It's like this new big craft brewery by us. And it was cool to watch all of that development and then me grow my craft beer palate along with the New Jersey beer industry. So it's been really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And at the time that you were just coming into it, for that to be happening right at the same time in New Jersey was pretty awesome.
For sure.
Awesome. You know, because there were some lean years for us in New Jersey prior to that.
There were. That's right. Let's see. Before Forgotten Boardwalk, the Flying Fish was in that spot.
Flying Fish was there. Yeah, they moved.
Yep.
I've not been to their new facility. One of these days.
Flying Fish,
it's really cute.
No?
It's a good.
Yeah, it's a cute little spot.
Mm-hmm. I do miss River Horse's old facility though.
Mm.
River Horse's old facility in Lambertville was definitely, you know, I mean, hey, kudos to them. They got the bigger place. They're doing what they're doing. But that spot in Lambertville was always a destination. It was.
Yeah, I never made it to that location, but I've been to the other one. But
sure.
I've heard great things.
It's cool to go over there, and you know, you made a day out of it too, because you park over there, you do what you're doing over in Lambertville, and then you walk over the bridge into New Hope and hang out in New Hope and wind up Triumph, come back. It's a whole day. You know,
what was always neat is the first time that you found a River Horse where it was, you always felt like you were trespassing. Because you were like at the end of the road, and then you had to go around this building to get behind it, and it's like, am I supposed to be? Oh, there's.
I feel like so many New Jersey breweries have that vibe.
I would tell you,
so many people come to us too because we're so off the beaten path that people are like, "Oh my god, I thought I was going to get like carjacked down here," and then like you're right around the
it's
bend.
Not that type of an area. What are they talking about?
But if you think about it, and you drive like super late at night, that road is completely not lit. And the building that we're in isn't
it's just
very
an industrial
lit.
area. That's all. It's not like Carjack Alley.
People always laugh. They come in and they were like, "Oh my god, I was so nervous. I thought I was in the wrong place." Like
the street might not be lit, but the brewery's lit.
The brewery's pretty lit. Yeah,
for sure.
I was going to say, sorry. Yeah, no, it's the River Horse, like you said, was it was definitely one of those where you thought you were like trespassing, like you said. Ironically, the first time I ever, just a quick aside, first time I ever actually went to River Horse, years and years, obviously back in the, I was probably at 2006 maybe, somewhere in there, 2007 somewhere there, probably right after they opened the place, you know, and my cousin and I where my cousin's a big craft beer guy too, and drinking wise, and we went down. There was like a family New Year's Day, like bunch of like the aunts, uncles, cousins, kids, everybody's kids went to the castle that's right there in Lambertville. For they had a brunch for New Year's Day, so we all went there, and then the women all went and shopped. So my cousin and I had my son.
The castle, or the railroad station.
No, well, I thought it was the castle. I'm
about-
pretty sure the castle was the
Lambert,
place.
you're thinking of Lambert's Castle up here, aren't you?
No, maybe it was the railroad station. I think it's wherever it was.
I think it's Lambertville Station you're thinking of.
Yeah,
that's
but
where the big brunches occur.
Yeah, but there was a castle behind it. I don't know, whatever. Well, it's the only time I went there. Any other time I went to Lambertville, I went to River Horse. So it was only that. But in any event,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyway, we walked. It was me, my son, who was only 6 at the time, and my cousin, and like 3 of my uncles that don't drink craft beer. That was the first time I ever went to River Horse. So it was
Nice.
interesting. So anyway, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. But Mechanical's an industrial area. It's not like yeah, crazy. Anyway, all right. So how long? So it's been since 2012, 13.
Yeah.
That you've been doing it. How soon after that did you start? Saying, hey, I really gotta, whether it was just your blog, your content creation or whatever, your Instagram, whatever you were doing. How long after that did you really get into it, other than just having a couple of beers here?
Yeah, no. So it's actually a really funny story, and people ask me all the time how Pint Size Leah started. Ironically enough, I went to school for health and nutrition.
Okay.
And
hey,
it's healthy.
Yeah, right.
It's healthy.
And then when I graduated, I continued on and got like my personal training certs and all of that. And I was a personal trainer for a few years. A lot of my clients started following my personal Instagram account and all of that. And they were like, all you do is go to breweries and eat at food trucks. And like you eat and drink, like you're basically made of garbage and you're telling me not to and blah, blah, blah.
Made of garbage.
So
Made of garbage. That's rude.
I was like, all right, but like, this is my happy place. Like the breweries are my happy place. And craft beer is, a huge hobby of mine.
Sure.
So that's kind of around when Pint Size Leah started. I started the beer account, just documenting the breweries I went to, the beers I'm drinking, and I made it private so that, I had to approve who followed me. And I never in a million years knew that there was such an incredible craft beer community on Instagram. And it took off way more than I ever could have imagined that it would. And I'm very grateful for it. Like the people I've met, I can now say I have lifelong friends due to my Instagram account. I've gone places I never imagined I would go. And it got me a career, a new career.
There you go. That's awesome.
I gotta say, you gotta still be healthy, because I'm seeing. I jumped on your Instagram, just followed you, and right quickly. I think it's right about here, right after this one. There we are. Oh no, that's after this one. Here we go. Keg stand.
Yes, I was a gymnast for 20 some years.
Oh, so keg stands are easy peasy.
So that's how I ended up in Connecticut.
That's nothing.
By 2 roads. I got a college gymnastics scholarship. So
there you go.
There we go.
It's only natural to be upside down on my hands. Do handstands everywhere I go.
That's great. Where'd you go to school?
University of Bridgeport.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Right there.
Not too far
Yeah,
away.
literally. Like I lived right by them.
Then you know Gaetano's.
Yeah.
Oh, great sandwiches. I tell John every time you get to 2 roads, go to Gaetano's, get your sandwich, then come to the brewery.
Then go to the brewery. Absolutely.
I was at 2 roads once, and there's these 2. Everyone there had the same exact bag. Their sandwiches were all. I mean, because you know how huge that bar is.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
Everywhere you looked, everyone had these sandwiches.
Yep.
And I'm watching these 2 guys, and I can see they're kind of getting a little nervous.
Because you're watching them?
Because I'm watching them. They don't realize what's going on. And I finally walk over to them. I can see them. They're looking at each other like, oh, my God, he's coming over. And I'm like, gentlemen, I'm sorry. It's not you I'm interested. It's your sandwiches. They're like, oh, now we're a little disappointed. So they told us where to go to get them. I was this meathead and I, John.
Right. Yeah.
And we went there, and we had a blast there, because the guy that runs it, he's from Brooklyn. So he knows how to
Well, it
make
makes sense.
he knows how to make a prosciutto and mousse, and he's got some gabagool and
Prosciutto and mutz and the gabagool and everything. Yeah, exactly. You got to talk Brooklyn.
I don't know that he had any galamad.
Yeah, there's a D on the end of
There's a
that.
D
It's
at the end,
galamad.
galamad.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another story and another
That's a whole nother
show.
story.
I know we did like a half an hour on that one day. Anyway, but cool.
Now, what was your first job in the industry?
I was beer tending at Odd Logic Brewing in Bristol, PA.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I was there for a while, up until Mechanical opened.
There you go. Logic is good. Been there.
Yeah.
That was we did a several months ago actually. We did it. We went to Broken Goblet.
Yeah.
And then the Chamonix. And then
Did you get up to Naked?
What's that?
Did you get up to Naked Brewing?
Didn't get up to Naked. No, didn't get up to Naked. Odd Logic, and then and what was the other? Oh crap! I'll think of it. It'll come to me. But yeah, we hit 4 that day. But anyway, yeah.
There's so many in that like direct.
Oh yes, right there. Yeah, you just
awesome.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were there, and you were there until Mechanical opened. And when did Mechanical open?
Like Black Friday of last year, we just had our 1 year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. That's
Yep.
right. So let's talk about some backstory of Mechanical. What did now? It's James is the founder, right?
Yes, correct.
So what did he go through? When did he that the stories?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're the taproom manager, so obviously people ask you, hey, how did this start?
Yeah.
Tell us your spiel when you're given the nickel tour, if you will.
So I know that there were plans to open, I believe, around 2019. Unfortunately, things happen, like a pandemic.
I heard something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know the
extent
of, all the delays and all of that. I really don't know too much about that.
Right.
But I do know also there were initially like other people supposed to be involved, but then it turned into just a project for James. And so now James is the owner. And then we have Rick Vickers, the head brewer, and then myself as the 3 core people. And we were involved from the day the doors have opened until current. So I don't really know too much, unfortunately, about all the craziness that I'm sure he went through
to get there.
All happen.
Gotcha.
But I know that I met James, I believe it was like 2 weeks tops at most before our grand opening.
Gotcha. Was he over at Odd Logic, or you just happened to hook up with him?
No, it was one of those things, like I guess like he was talking to people in the industry looking for a taproom manager, and my name was referred to him by a few people, and we ended up reaching out.
A community.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Sure, and I'm very grateful because I'm very happy to call Mechanical my home. But yeah, I met James. It was instant,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of a funny.
Oh no, I mean that's fine. It's great when something happens like that. You get referred to somebody, and then you meet them, and then it just you hit it off right from the get go, and
sure.
Yeah, it's like it was meant to be. It was just okay. It was in the cards. Let's do this. Boom. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they opened Black Friday. So it's just had a 1 year anniversary. What's the size of the brew house?
So technically we're like a 5-barrel system.
Okay.
We did just install, like we kind of have like a mix match of everything right now between like spike tanks, extra fermenters that we just installed. We're just trying to maximize the space that we have, which unfortunately is not a lot. We're pretty like squeezed into that brew room that we have. So hopefully more is in the future, but for right now, Rick's just back there slaving away. Yeah.
So, and Rick's been, he's the brewmaster. He's the head brewer.
Correct.
Obviously. He's been he homebrewed for was homebrewing for like 20 years, right?
Yeah, he has a lot of homebrewing experience. I don't know if you're familiar with Lunacy Brewery.
Sure,
They're right by us as well, and I know that he had like a guest tap in their tap room for a while. So because he did have a full-time job, so it was a matter of whenever he had time to go there and brew, they would give him a tap, which is awesome. So he had a great reputation in the beer industry long before Mechanical opened. Sure. So one of my most frequent asked questions is Rick in today? So he's a great guy.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah.
So he's been there for a while now. He's got a lot of brews. That's for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
Just looking at my notes here. So the tap room is your domain. Basically, obviously that's your baby, if you will.
Yeah.
100%.
What
I mean, the space is great. I've been there, obviously. Obviously got the shirt, so obviously I was there. Anyway, do you tell us about the tap room a little bit, the aesthetics of it, and everything you've done? I mean, I saw some of the pictures. You put the gnomes up by the taps. That was pretty cool for the holidays. It was great.
Gnomes, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I really can't take credit for too much of the way the tap room or anything is really set up. I mean, sure, I add like my little touches to it, but I mean, one thing that everyone always notices is, actually, I went beer shopping yesterday, so I have a lot of taps, but like our lampshades and everything are all made out of recycled Pactex. So that's like one of the first things that everyone notices is our lamps, like that line the entire bar area. So that was all James, the owner. Like he hand nailed in every single plank of wood behind the bar that makes the bar. I mean, he handmade our tap towers. He has like a whole wood shop at his house. And that's the other thing that instantly people go and notice is
absolutely.
It was one of the first things I noticed. Towers, and the detail that he put into that is unreal. And they have like green glowing lights with gears that spin in them. So I feel like it's little things like that that really set us apart and make our tap room a whole experience. For a while, James was doing all the cool, like he is such a talented artist and was doing all the really cool like chalkboard art. But now he's kind of passed the torch, and I've been trying to channel my inner James. I get to channel my inner James every week or every season, anytime the chalkboard stuff needs to be changed.
That's great.
But yeah, so I try to add like my little quirky touches to it to make it,
you got to do you.
Yeah, I mean, it's my home. I spend more time there probably than I do in my own home.
Than you do at home, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is home, really.
Yeah.
Home is just a place you sleep and shower.
Absolutely.
Work is actually home.
I'd probably end up sleeping at the brewery some nights if I could. I always joke I should put a cot in the office.
That's great.
I know a brewery that actually has a shower in it.
That would be pretty cool. I'm sure Rick would even appreciate that some days.
Let you know another day, John.
Yeah, exactly. That's a discussion for later. Anyway.
Yeah, but the shower heads do not put out chicken parms.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. So enough said. Mm-hmm. So we won't talk about there's no lactose in this beer, so we won't talk about.
There might be lactose coming out of the shower.
There's lactose coming out of the shower, right? Anyway, on another note, back to Rick.
Yeah.
One of the beers that I actually loved when I was there, when I had it, was fantastic. Was the English Mild. Such a good beer, and it won an award. I think I heard somewhere.
Won something?
Something like maybe this. There you go.
Oh yes.
Oh, that place. I've heard of that.
I've heard of that festival. So that's a small thing, right?
Yeah,
that's all just based on having your family show up, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Great American Beer Festival in Denver, Colorado. Mechanical Brewing's English style pale mild ale took the gold in 2021 and this year. So
damn, representing
kudos
for
to you
Jersey.
guys.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
That was awesome. A day.
That's awesome.
This will be my second glass. Will be my Jersey glass.
There you go. That's awesome. So kudos on that. That was awesome, and rightfully so, because I've had the beer, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh no, I know more about it than the judges at GABF. The beer's fantastic. It absolutely is. It absolutely
there might be some important people judging up there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We obviously loved the beer, which is why we felt it should be one that was submitted. So I'm happy that they, feel the same way.
That's awesome.
Not a style you see often, but you're starting to see a little more often.
You do, and it's one of my favorite styles. I mean, there's so many unsung styles, and we talk about it all the time on this show. Between English Milds, between
Alts.
All beers.
We were just talking about this. It's so funny that you guys are saying that.
Absolutely. Zwickel beers, even some of the Kellers.
Keller Weisses. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even English old ales
Oh,
are
yeah.
amazing. They're so good.
So, a lot of people drinking English old ale and go, oh, another barley one.
Different.
But they're different, right?
Different. Yep.
Absolutely
Exactly.
different.
So, but so good though. And in fact, we talk about Pittsburgh and you talk about English miles. Actually, I had another fantastic English mile just when I was in Pittsburgh a few months ago at Grist House.
Yeah, I love Grist House. We're big Grist House fans here. Did you happen to stop at Old Thunder?
Oh, sure.
I was going to say that was the last trip we made a few months ago. That was our first time at Old Thunder, and the whole rest of the trip we're like, oh my God, can we squeeze in another day to get back there for
Old Thunder? Yeah,
an hour? We were hooked. They are making phenomenal beer there.
They are. Old Thunder's making.
They're so new.
Yeah, Old Thunder's making crazy. Was the barbecue truck outside when you were there at all?
No, there was a Mexican food truck.
Gotcha. If you ever go out there and there's a barbecue truck there, Blowfish Barbecue.
Okay.
I'll give you 3 guesses what the pitmaster, the guy that runs it, his name is. Take a walk.
Hootie.
There you go. Yeah.
Got to be Hootie.
Hootie. It's
Got to
Hootie,
be
yeah.
Hootie. Yeah.
I love it. That's
Well,
awesome.
in April, I may be heading out to Pittsburgh in April for my.
In fact, I'm just going back
for birthday weekend.
I'm just going back through pictures here because we actually mentioned them on the show. We gave them a shout out because the food was so good. It was phenomenal. The brisket that I had out there, right at Old Thunder too.
I always judge a pit master by his brisket.
Brisket, absolutely. So there it is, right there.
Aw.
There's Hootie. It's right outside Old Thunder, right there.
That's
love
a
that.
nice rig he's got there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I would love to get back. I wish we could go there more. That's initially where my fiance Zeppi's from. So we haven't really been out there too much, but I wish it was closer.
So you are engaged.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then and now, did you meet Zeppi in the craft beer community, or was it a completely separate?
Yeah,
because there's so many stories of people actually meeting.
Because the way the name came up at first, his tag was on there.
Yeah.
When it first came out. So he's a tattoo artist, or
no? He is heavily tattooed.
He's just heavily tattooed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, actually, we grew up together.
Oh.
We've known each other a really long time. He was not a craft beer fan at all until
you forced him to be.
Yeah. And now he
has by the nose.
fully taken on my
awesome.
hobby and my passion, and I can easily say it's now his, and it's nice to
you could share that. It's absolutely
yeah, for sure. And he doesn't look at me like I'm crazy if I'm like, let's drive 4 hours.
He did though in the beginning. He did
one
right?
release. Yeah, he did. But then he was like, oh, this is awesome. This is fun. And he created a beer Instagram as well, which was Crafty Tats, and it's really cool. It's fun to share that hobby together and travel to breweries together.
Traveling and going to breweries is beer tourism is huge, and it's such a cool thing.
We call them our beercations.
Oh yeah,
our whole honeymoon is San Diego, and it's just going to be beer tours.
There you go.
Oh, well, I mean. I've heard that there's a couple of decent breweries in San Diego.
Yeah,
you might be able to find one or
just
two.
A few.
You might be able to find one or two.
And
because
Carrie's got a landmark birthday coming up, and we're going to hit Asheville for her birthday.
She's going to be 30, right?
25.
That's an awesome destination for
That's
beer.
awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll probably stop at Richmond on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And
hit the Answer.
Sure.
And Answer, Aslan, Hardywood.
Yeah.
So many
good ones. Yeah. We in fact we were you talk about beer tourism and everything else. Jess and I went on a trip. You met Jess when we were at the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
We went up to in August. Took a week. We went to Maine for a few days and went to Boston for a few days.
Yeah.
And when we were up in Maine, I ran into somebody.
You ran into a couple of people.
I ran into a couple of people, and
on the aforementioned. And that was actually that's a picture of the two of us, but that was actually on Carrie's birthday.
That was on Carrie's birthday, yeah.
We started her birthday at
Allagash. At 11. We were drinking at 11 o'clock.
At 11 o'clock, and I don't think
there's nothing wrong with that.
No?
Hey, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
That's right.
So got to remember that.
So we drank all day.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Got a couple comments right here. Brian, just to catch up on him, Brian said we were talking about when I took my son, my cousin.
We're going way back.
Yeah, I got to catch up on him or whatever. He says it sounds like a joke. A man, a boy, and 3 non-drinkers walk into a brewery. There you go. There you go.
What's the punchline, Brian?
Yeah, really make up. And then he also said he knows a brewery with a shower. Gee, I wonder.
The same one.
The same one, yeah, exactly. And he said
he's a little interested in that brewery.
If there's an English mild on the menu, I'll always order it. Absolutely.
I'm with you. Me too. English mild, English bitters, they're always like my go-to.
Definitely. Absolutely. And then Doug Smith said, speaking to Two Roads, what do you guys think of Phase 2? Amazing place, he said. Yeah.
It's a really... Have you guys been there?
Haven't been to Phase 2 yet. Haven't been to Phase 2 yet.
So I guess it's technically called like Area 2.
Area 2.
And it's really... It's so cool. So
we had John Kleinchester on the show in August.
Oh, okay.
Talking about it, yeah.
So he was talking all about
it's
it and everything.
It's an awesome spot. Yeah. I love that they're doing so much experimental work there. Like, I remember going and there was stuff aged in tequila barrels.
Sure.
They had really like bizarre experimental brews, which I appreciate more than anything. Sure. Like, but it's awesome. Like, you walk in and like you go down this like cool little like catwalk area, and next to you are just these ginormous tanks, and that's
a technical term, by the way.
Yes.
That's once it gets over a certain amount of barrels, it becomes ginormous. It's
enormous. Oh my god, I was just like it was awesome. Awesome. And then the tasting room was done so well. I can't say.
Yeah, John told us all about it. In fact, Tony Forder from L Street News just said Area 2 rocks, especially like sours. Absolutely.
Their sours are amazing. And I was excited because I would say it's definitely been within the past like 3-ish years, maybe a little bit less. They started distributing some of them down here now. So you can get some of Area 2's sours.
Right. Yeah, they're really good. I've had a bunch of them. They're really I've had the beers. I just haven't been up to Area 2 yet.
Yeah.
Tony also said strong mild is one of his favorites. Yeah. So there you go. And Doug Smith, just to finish up the catching up with the comments. Dave hit bingo in Richmond. Lager brewery. I'm sorry, lager brewery. That was a joke. That's a private thing. Lager brewery, phenomenal. There you go.
I'm gonna have to. That might have to be the first stop, considering the other three will probably
not be lagers.
Way over the edge, especially if we go to Mekong for dinner.
Oh, forget about it. Yeah.
Because you just want everything on that on the beer menu and the food menus.
Tony, that's exactly how you spell it. Ginormous. There you
go. He's in the print world, so he should know.
He should know how you spell it. I think that's the actual Webster's definition of it. If you put it in, you can find that. But anyway, cool. That's great. Anybody need a second beer yet? Because I'm close.
I'm getting there.
You mean I'm almost okay? You're there.
Yes.
Right, let's finish these.
Almost there.
What song is that? That's good. Who's playing that?
Oh, Zepp's watching a movie, I guess.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who it was. I wasn't sure.
In the living room,
I wasn't sure. Oh, it was just like the bass echo. That's
yes.
Great. That's great. I love it.
Nice. He kills me.
All right. Samurai, what do you drink in second?
I'm gonna wait a little bit.
You are? Oh, you're gonna. Why don't we open?
You hit your second.
I'll hit my second.
I can go grab mine.
Why don't you go grab yours, and I'll start with mine. There we go.
Kept it in the fridge.
There you go. I have a cooler down here, so it's easier. So.
Down where?
Right below me.
Below
Brian said, "Cheers, I'm out." Thanks, Brian.
Cheers,
we'll talk to you soon. Cheers. All right. No, I used to. I've been meaning to put a beer fridge back here.
But then you have to turn around all the time.
But then I got to turn around all the time. So it's just easier to keep them in my beer fridge downstairs.
See, mine's right here.
And whatever I'm going to drink, I reach down. I have a small cooler right here with ice in it, ice packs in it.
See, my beer fridge is right there, and I would put it under the desk, except it's taller than the underneath of the desk.
There you go.
So it won't fit because I need room. Because this thing right now is chock full.
Gotcha.
So every time I pull a beer out of it, I can hear the fridge go, thank God.
Yeah.
We had a beer fridge. Well, we have a beer fridge, but we also, our main refrigerator.
Gotcha.
You know what?
You can't have a beer fridge and a regular fridge, and then there's no beer in your regular fridge, even though your beer fridge is full.
Well,
we have one of those refrigerators. So during COVID, actually our refrigerator died, so we had to go get a new one. And this is a funny story. Everyone loves to hear it because it very much explains Zeppy and I as a whole.
Okay.
So we go, and of course there's like a shortage on appliances and all this stuff. And we finally find like a Best Buy outlet, and they have this fridge, and it's like, the ones with like the pull out drawer.
Sure.
And it's supposed to be for like vegetable crisping.
Mm-hmm.
No one uses it for that.
So all of a sudden, like, Zeppy takes his shoe off, and he's like measuring the inside of this fridge, and then looks at me and he goes, "We'll take it." And I go, "What do you mean? Like, what did you just do?" And he goes, "It'll hold 64 16-ounce cans." And I go, "We'll take it."
Wow. You found the right man.
And I was just like, "We'll take it."
I would tell you to marry him, but you already have that thought.
I am so happy that that's what it was, but I would have been hysterical, and I would have laughed my ass off if he said, "Oh, it's gonna just pull
the
my shoes."
The salesman is looking at me like, "What is he doing?" And then he's just like, "We'll take it." I'm like, "We'll take it," and he's
That's
like, "It'll
great.
hold 64 16-ounce cans." I'm like, "All right, we'll take it." And then we came home with a fridge.
And just in the drawer.
Just in the drawer.
Just in the drawer. You get the rest of the fridge. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So right now our pull-out drawer is 100% loaded with cans.
64?
Yes. I would say very.
Was he right? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
All right.
Nice.
And he did that with a shoe. That's awesome.
He did.
That's
the whole
impressive.
bottom half of the fridge. So we stocked up at the referend for their going away party.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I meant to get out there for it too. I meant
Oh.
that a couple Fridays ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I meant to get out there.
So there's a ton of referend bottles all on the one side of the fridge, and then the other side is all just like Troon bottles and Troon crowlers and other miscellaneous bottles.
You better lock your doors and windows tonight.
Wait, what's your address?
I know,
Yeah, because
right?
people are going to be breaking in.
And do you have a key code or no?
Yeah, right.
I won't tell anybody. Just tell me.
I remember during the
Or I'll say it like this. All right, when are we having the share?
Well, so we always try to have one. Like we do like Sunday fun days, and we have a whole hutch that's just like filled with glassware. Everyone goes, they pick what glass they want, and we just crack open either bottles, cans, whatever people want to try. But the one rule is when people come over, they are not allowed to bring beer. They are not allowed to bring beer. Like we were just complaining that we were low on beer, but it's like now we're fully stocked up again, and I don't even know how it happens.
I can't. I got to make another run before Christmas next week. I got to make another run for a few other Christmas ales that I haven't gotten yet, and I got to get I need to hook up with another case of my favorite holiday beer, Celebration, yeah, Sierra Nevada Celebration.
You know, I've got my bottle of Christmas Bomb.
You got your bottle of Christmas Bomb. Yes,
So
that's your favorite. So. But so I got to get a few more. But yeah, I always have way too much beer. And there's never a time of year where I don't have too much beer. So and I'm with you. Everybody come over. Don't bring any beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to tell you how many. Forget about cans and 4-packs and in the fridge and everything else. I'm talking just bottles alone.
Yeah.
Forget about it. And it's
I always bring beer when I go to John's house.
And you always bring beer. And everybody always brings beer. Don't bring any beer. Yeah, okay. And they show up. I didn't bring any beer. I didn't bring any beer. I only brought 6 bottles. Okay. Yeah, but there's 6 of you here. So we have 36 bottles plus mine.
Yep. That's like always the case. But like, there's things that people want to try that, they don't want to drink by themselves. I get it. If it's like a high ABV, they'll be like, but let's just share this bottle. I'm like, all right, whatever. But, our goal is always to move some beer every week.
But you bring these things to John's, he's complaining, you bring in too much beer, then he looks and goes, oh, we need to open this.
Yeah, exactly. We're the same way.
Well, that's what it is. I don't want to have to feel that way. I'd rather drink my beer and then have you bring in another day after I drink my beer. But I mean, it all works out. It's
okay,
fine,
so next time I come down, I won't bring another Bennington.
You're full of shit. You will totally bring beer with you.
Unless I drink it first. Because you have one now.
I have one now, yeah. Exactly.
During the pandemic, my fridge was kind of hilarious. Because I kept very little in it by way of food. My main fridge, because I didn't have a beer fridge at the time, my main fridge was basically beer and condiments. Mm-hmm. That's all it was.
That's kind of our fridge now.
I mean, isn't that? I mean, beer, condiments, and whatever you had for dinner that night.
Yep.
Our
pizza box.
In the pizza box.
Yeah, the pizza box, and the freezer was full of other pizzas because I'd go to a place because I was on this. I lived in Rhode Island during the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
He knew the pandemic was coming. He moved to Rhode Island for the duration of the pandemic, and then he came back.
Which was a big mistake. I moved back because I realized there's no good pizza in Rhode Island, and I tried.
He did try.
And I would go every place I'd go. I would get 2 or 3 pizzas. So I'd eat a couple of slices, shove the rest into the fridge or the freezer, and then just stock the rest of the fridge with beer and condiments.
Necessities.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah,
It's like in college again. It was weird. In college in my 50s.
There you go. You're in your 50s?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know when that happened.
I'm years away from that.
Singular.
Singular? No, I'm not.
You're a year away from me.
Yeah, you're away from you. Yeah, exactly. And you're almost halfway through your 50s. But
very close to that.
Very
yes.
close to, yeah, exactly. Sorry. Leah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, I turned 30 in like a few months.
God, I'm so old.
I know, you're turning 30. Oh my God.
Over.
So I was at Bolero Snort when Keith, their bartender, turned 30, and he's like, oh my God, I feel so old. I'm like, you're so cute.
No.
You're so cute.
Exactly. 30s. I got to be honest with you. Dave and I are both in our 50s. The worst for me was my 30s.
Yeah.
Turning 30 was worse than 40 or 50.
Actually,
I feel like that's a huge turning point in life.
Yeah. Turning 30 was worse for me, and it wasn't like I didn't go crazy or anything. I just mean it hit me harder than turning 40 or turning 50.
Actually, 41 hit me the worst.
Really?
Because I wasn't in my 30s anymore, and when I was 40, I was 40. Right. All of a sudden, now I'm in my 40s.
Now you're 41. You're in your 40s.
That makes sense.
That's the one that hit me was when I turned 41.
Gotcha.
I'm like,
something tells me in 6 or 7 years from now when I hit the next one, that's gonna sting a bit.
That's gonna be
That's gonna sting a bit.
We'll buy you a cane.
Exactly. You're older than me. Shut up.
Yes, I am. But you're taller. You'll grab me. I'll first.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So anyway, all right. Leah, what are you drinking? Did you open your second beer yet?
I did. I have our Lathe lager.
Mm-hmm.
Lathe,
yeah.
Lathe,
everything is a mechanical term.
Everything is a mechanical term. Yeah, Lathe is
everything.
I've had Lathe too. It's a very tasty lager. It's really good.
Yeah, I really enjoy this beer. He did an awesome job on it. It was more, from my knowledge, like an experimental type lager that he wanted to do. It was like an international lager with almost every ingredient in it is considered international. And we put it on tap and it sold like crazy. And now it has probably become one of our staple beers. So you can probably find it on tap almost every time you're there.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a tasty beer. We get down there, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have one of those first, yeah. So, Samurai. Oh, you want me to go first, right?
Yeah, you go first.
I will. I'm sticking with the source. Obviously, I'm having Warm Embrace.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
It's
We're due first.
I'm sorry. You better get Never mind.
It's not home.
I thought he was home. Have him give you one.
Oh no.
No. Nobody's
No,
getting.
he's
These jokes are flying right over both of your heads. You're talking to her.
Huh? What?
I said Warm Embrace, and Leah said she hasn't had one of those.
I got it.
Now you got it. All right.
Oh,
it's my day off. I'm not really supposed to be thinking.
It's all good. All right. Yeah, it's an American porter. To me, it's on the robust side.
I like my porters.
Yeah.
Roasty.
So good. You definitely.
I don't like when they're like sweet and.
Oh, that's why I like Manskirt's porter so much.
I haven't had that.
Their English porter's very good.
I need to get there.
I've always told Joe that he makes the most portery porter I've ever had.
That.
The most portery
porter.
Yeah,
that's a technical term.
I'll be sure to add that in our Untapped description.
That's how I checked it in on Untapped. What's it called? The People's Porter, I think, John.
I believe you're right.
Yeah,
I believe it is People's Porter. Yeah. So there we go. That's a pretty good pour.
That's not a bad pour at all. And then you just stumble around the corner and go see Matt Ziegler at Zigmeister.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And you're only a couple miles away from Chuck over Jersey Girl too.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever friggin' town he's in.
His what you call it? His mailbox is his postal address, I should say, is Hackettstown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
actually in Mount Olive.
He's technically in Mount Olive, but Bud Lake version of Mount Olive. So it's like three towns. It could be Bud Lake, Hackettstown, or Mount Olive.
Yeah.
So strange, but yeah, I'll actually be stopping up there next Friday on Christmas Eve It's got to go up to.
Oh my
family.
God! Did
What?
you hear that?
No, I didn't. What was
Okay, so I cracked my beer. So I've got the Christmas tree on a clapper,
it? Okay.
and opening the beer made good crack,
Made it-
crack, and
made it
turned
turn
off the
off.
Christmas tree. So
That is
there we go.
hysterical.
So I actually have a Darth Vader clapper.
Oh my God.
So
Anyway, Dave is not
when
just a beer geek.
Yeah, I'm a geek. Period. So when you turn the thing off, it goes. You underestimate the power of the dark side.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's awesome. So, but I'm gonna open mine now and pour it. So I got
Go for it.
let me put the right side of the can up. Bake Sale.
There you
So
go.
there's a collaboration with the aforementioned Bolero Snort. So Bake
Oh, yeah.
Sale is a nitro oatmeal stout.
Mhm.
So when you get an oatmeal stout, a nitro stout in a can that doesn't have the widget in it, there's only one way to pour the thing, and that's hard. You got to go hard on it, and people will be like freaking out, going, "You're gonna go right over the top of the glass." And if you do it right, you shouldn't. But I didn't do it right.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna drop a little bit.
You only dripped it when you took a sip. If you didn't, yeah,
I broke the seal,
yeah, you did.
and then you can see it's going to cascade quite nicely.
There you go.
This is the chocolate chip version. Bolero Snort did a brownie version of it,
Yes,
which I had at the brewery on Friday, which was just straight up fudge ass brownie.
it was just like a glass of fudge is basically what it was.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So
now
that's your beer. And I didn't put my crawler for mine either. There's the Warm Embrace, 7.5% American Porter from Source. There you go. But
I needed a bigger glass for this because it's a 16-ounce can, and that's not quite an imperial pint.
no. Well, I mean, all pint glasses in pint
Oh, that's
glasses
what
you
we-
get. The shaker pints are 14 ounces.
See,
Shaker
John,
pints.
you talked about us being royalty. We need to make Leah royalty. That way she'll be an imperial pint size Leah.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so she's for now she's dubbed royalty. We can would I mean, do you knight? How do you do it? What do you do?
It depends. No, because Knight's not really exactly royalty.
That's true.
So she has to be crowned.
So she's crowned. Okay, so we crown the imperial pint size Leah.
There we go.
There you go.
Perfect.
That'll work.
We dub thee.
We dub thee. There you go. Crown thee, dub thee, whatever, it works. So
she can be a czarina. I don't know.
sure, why not? There you go.
Well, last year around Christmas, I don't know if you guys ever saw the ad for like you could be a lord if you purchase land in Scotland or whatever.
I did see that. See that.
So Zeppy and like a bunch of our friends, like Jack, the owner of Dr. Brewlittles, they all got land in Scotland and became lords. And then we started like this tradition, like after Christmas dinner, we all get together and do like a beer share and hang out and just get drunk. And they started lording it forward. And they were buying friends plots of land in Scotland. And they'd be like, you now have to lord it forward to someone else. So now all of our friends are considered lords. And God forbid we don't address one of them as Lord whatever. They're like, I'm a lord.
So now, like when you call Zeppy right now, do you say Lord Zeppy?
No, but we keep laughing that like for our wedding, should it be like, oh, Leah, do you take
Lord Zeppy? You absolutely have to do that. You have to do that.
But then I was like, but if I now marry a lord, what does that make me?
A lady.
A lady. You're a lady.
Well, that's been the ongoing joke. So it was.
Well, I've got Lord Vader back there.
There you go. Right.
And actually, in Scotland, it's not technically Lord; it's Laird.
Laird,
it?
yeah.
Like in Laird's Applejack, it's spelled the same way.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Not as in lard, as in like me, lard ass. It's
Lard.
Laird. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, Lord, yeah, absolutely. Do you, Leah, take Lord Zeppy to be your lawfully wedded husband? You have to do that.
Gonna be.
You have to do that. You have to. And somebody has to video that, and you have to put it on Instagram. You absolutely have to do it.
And they have how many
Well, we keep
lords are
joking
going to be at your wedding?
So many of his groomsmen, because of lording it forward, are all lords. So
They're
like,
all lords.
I put them now on like our wedding website as Lord.
So wait a second.
Yes.
So when
the answer is yes.
And when you have them all over, you have a House of Lords.
House of Lords. Yeah, exactly.
100%. It's so dumb.
Oh, jeez. That's great. I love
Welcome to
it.
my wedding.
But that's being dumb and doing stupid ass shit. That's what being friends is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
We've done a couple of dumb things, Dave, haven't we?
No, never.
No, never.
Nothing that we're going to mention on camera.
No. We might talk about it afterwards, but nothing on
Maybe.
this. No, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Anyway, all right. So
I really forgot to bring paper towels today.
this, well, you're just silly. Just here, I have one if you want it.
Oh, that's not going to work today, is it?
It's not going to work today.
So with Saturday, we had been right from the beginning. We had always talked about doing a live show where we didn't tell the audience we were in the same place. So that way, one of us could say, "Oh my God, that beer looks good. Can I have some?" And have the other person hand it, and you're right
like
there.
that.
And ideally, it would have been me going like this with my hand, but my hand would have come out.
Yeah.
And I just go like that and
Yeah.
pull it. But so we managed to do it over this weekend.
When we were at Source, we did it. So
it was nice. We finally managed to pull that off.
So anyway, a joke a year and a half in the process, but we finally did it. Anyway,
and we jumped on the first opportunity.
Sure, absolutely. All right, so before we do anything else,
God, that's good.
There's a reason we should get to our top 3 right now.
Well, the beer that I'm drinking is called Bake Sale. So bake sales are typically charity events, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Source did chocolate chip cookies.
Bake sales are charity events plus what
they're
they
fundraising
the beer for, right? Exactly.
Right. So this one's chocolate chip. Bolero's was brownies because a lot of the things you'll find at a bake sale. You might even find a fruit cake or two, but that person will never be invited back to the bake sale.
Not at all.
Because they're not going to make any money for anybody.
Well, if they made a fruitcake milkshake, that'd be a different story. But just a regular fruitcake, probably not. Yeah,
no. Because a fruitcake is forever.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm convinced there's only 4 fruitcakes in the entire world, and they just keep circulating.
I was going to say they just get recycled each year.
Right.
Regifted every single year.
Right.
But the whole point behind these beers, the reason they collabed and the reason Al Catullo did his show from Bolero Snort on Friday night, the whole reason I was there to see my buddy Al, was that the proceeds from the sales of these beers go towards Toys for Tots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and then they were collecting for Toys for Tots at the brewery.
Yeah, they were collecting Toys for Tots as well. Yeah. So.
I completely forgot and didn't bring anything.
We had this conversation at Thursday.
Yeah, I said I had to go get some. And and I went.
You were going. Yeah, you were. Yeah.
And I walk in and see this pile of unwrapped toys. I'm like, I am such an ass.
So it's when you walk over with your back to everybody and just go like this with your hands and nobody can see you and then turn around.
And the pile got no bigger.
Right.
But I tipped my bartender very well.
Well, there you go. At least that's good. There you go.
Because I like Keith.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So anyway, based on the fact that bake sale, charity, and Toys for Tots, toys, right? Our top 3 list tonight. One of the few times that we don't have a beer related to some degree, anyway. And actually, we didn't last week either. It was
no, we didn't really.
Last week it was top 3 favorite holiday non-beer holiday libations.
It was still alcohol related.
It was still alcohol related, but it wasn't beer related. But anyway, these are tonight's top 3 is top 3 favorite holiday gifts, toys that we got as children.
We're still children.
Well,
childish.
Young children. We're childish, yeah. Should I put young in there, or do you know what I'm saying?
No, that's children. Children works. We're just childish.
Children works. Years ago. All right.
I've got to really think about mine because this was just sprung upon me. Who comes up with this shit?
You came up with this. So there you go. All right. So why don't we let our guest of honor go first, Leah? Why don't you tell us?
Considering the memory's probably a little closer than ours.
It wasn't as long ago. I have mine. It was easy for me to do mine because I remember them. So.
Good for you.
All right.
So I don't know. I mean, looking back, like probably one of my all-time favorite things I got as a kid, and it's so weird to think back that I'm sure you guys obviously relate, but like growing up without computers and tablets. Mm-hmm. So it was like a very weird concept when, I don't even know who made this. I would probably have to do like some serious deep diving into Google. But it was called a Pico, and it looked almost like a laptop, and like you could put different games in it. And I don't know, like I had like the Lion King and the Sonic version of it. And like seriously, like Google it. It was called like PECO or something like that. And it was like this like green and yellow laptop looking thing. And I just remember like sitting, like I got it as a gift. I don't even think my parents knew anything about it. They were like, yeah, this was like a little entertainer for a little bit. And it's like I remember having like
PICO and it's Sega.
Yes,
that's why it was Sonic.
Yes, and I had the Sonic game on it, and it was like the coolest thing. Yes, oh my god.
There it is.
Like I remember getting that when I was little, and it was the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
So that's definitely one. I always looked forward to leotards for gymnastics.
Leotards or leotards?
So my little brother, they would put him in like the other smaller little classes because at a young age I lived at gymnastics practice. So because he would have to tag along, they ended up my parents enrolled him in like little tumble classes, whatever. Sure. And I would get dressed and be like, Leah, go put your leotard on. Like, we have to go. And my brother would be like, well, where's my Sammy tard? And it was like, my mom was like, how do you just not like piss yourself listening to that? Like, no, Sam. I'm like, you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Like,
That's
these
great.
are legitimately.
That is your Sammy tard.
But she missed her opportunity. Hand him a pair of shorts that says, "This is your Sammy tard."
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, literally, his nickname became Sammy Tard, which now probably is not appropriate.
It's probably not PC, yeah, but still.
But yeah.
As long as you don't, write an article about your brother Sammy Tard, you think you're all right.
So that was always like our family joke.
Right, that's great.
Yeah.
And okay, so the Pico, the leotards, and what was your third?
Well, back when I was little, Furbies were a thing.
Sure. Well, I had one.
90s baby at its finest.
Absolutely, I hear you. And most of that stuff I have purchased before for my kids.
Yeah. Like, thanks for my Furby. It goes in your closet, and then it talks to you all night, and you think your room's haunted. So that was cool.
There you go.
Checks out.
I think my Furby was possessed.
They all were, very much so.
Yeah, I think so. They were not as evil as Teddy Ruxpin, though.
There you go. No, nothing was as evil as Teddy. The way he talked too, it was very like.
You must kill mommy and daddy.
It was just his voice was, it could be happy, but it could be sinister too. You really didn't know. It was really weird.
But he worked on cassette tapes, so if you put a Black Sabbath cassette in there,
he would. Yeah, exactly. He'd sit there and talk War Pigs to you. It was just anyway. But it's funny you went with Black Sabbath. That was funny. All right, Samurai, what are yours?
Let's see. Well, I'm going to piggyback on her computer thing because one of the first things that came to mind is one year when I was probably a teenager, maybe not a child, but close enough. I got one of the first personal PCs that was produced. It was called the VIC-20.
Sure, Commodore.
So it was the precursor to the Commodore 64. Mm-hmm. This is back when the hard drives were a cassette deck.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Remember those? Everything was in BASIC because they hadn't invented Fortran, Pascal, or C yet.
Everything was in BASIC. It was but it was the same program language that Apple PCs used. Apple, the 2Cs, the before Macs, the Apple programming used BASIC. Yeah.
Yep, and also the Tandy Cocos.
Tandy Cocos used it too. Yeah.
Which was Radio Shack.
Radio Shack. Yeah.
So that one, I spent so much time on that thing.
Sure.
And it also ran cartridges.
It did run cartridges.
Yeah, so
it did.
It's a limited selection, but it ran cartridges. One of the things was that I enjoyed, but I had to enjoy it a little after Christmas because we're up in the north, so there would be snow. And I'm really dating myself now. Got a big wheel one year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And big wheels back then, and those things were just dangerous.
The wheels were big. Mm-hmm. Well, the front one was anyway.
The front one was the little one, and I actually had the one with the little thing that you can plug into the back of the little blue thing that you can lift up. It was like a little box where you can carry stuff in.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. I was straight balling it with the deluxe edition.
There you go.
But you still just pedal, pull that handbrake
and twist and spin. That was great. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the best.
That was
and
great.
Hopefully you weren't doing it in a hotel and come across two little girls and blood coming out of the elevator.
But you were.
So that was probably one of the most famous appearances of a big wheel anywhere was in the movie The Shining. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My third one, and if I thought about it beforehand, I would have went and got it. It's in my closet.
You still have it? Holy shit!
Yeah,
How old
well,
is that thing?
I still have it. My mom had taken up knitting, and she knitted me a red and black scarf because Jackson's colors were red and black. I was in high school at the time.
Right.
And I got to be very, very dangerous with this scarf. It was wool, so one of my friends, once I was behind him, he got me mad or something, so I looped around his neck and then just ripped it like I don't know, like something, and just welted his friggin' neck with it. But I could also make like a house of cards and take the thing and whip like one card out of it and bring it back to me. I got like Indiana Jones with this damn thing.
There you go.
But I still have it.
That's awesome.
It's still up in the closet. I wear it every now and then when it's really cold.
That's great. That's great. For me, I'll do mine now. I'll throw an honorable mention in there.
Oh my God. I almost didn't get an honorable mention.
Well, throw an honorable mention. Go ahead. You have time. I didn't start yet. Go ahead. No, you have to think about it.
No, I'm good.
Right. If you think about it, you can say it afterwards.
Anyway. The only thing I can say about it is with my brother and I being like only a year apart, anything he got, I got.
Mm.
You know, they had always.
Now,
get
did you
the same
get it
thing.
like from him or?
No, they weren't
If
hand-me-downs.
he was done with it, here you go, Dave.
Yeah, no, we always get the. We'd always
kind of like he does now with beer.
No, I'm the one who brings in beer.
Yeah.
Unless it's something I won from down where he lives. He's
This
in
is true.
Florida. Well, actually, you'll all see him in less than a week.
Yeah, next week he'll be on the show. This is true.
And
the holiday show with Brian C. Shone is on the show. Every all the holidays. Not all the holidays.
Yep.
Every holiday.
And we'll be doing it on Monday next week.
Next week is just Monday, only because Dave will be in Florida. All the shows are on Tuesdays, but Dave will be in Florida and has to do it on Monday. Why do you have to do it on Monday, Dave? What's Tuesday?
Well, it's not that anything is special Tuesday, but I want to make sure that I am back down in the Fort Lauderdale area on Wednesday, because it is my daughter's birthday.
Your daughter's birthday. So
speaking of birthdays, we've been remiss.
Yes, well, that's why I brought it up. So
yeah.
Right now, everybody, happy birthday to Michael Dargis.
Mike Dargis.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bud. You got it. And Leah, you actually met Mike Dargis because him and his wife Lauren were with Jess and I when we went to the brewery that day. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, gotcha.
So,
anyway,
happy birthday.
So today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday.
Which we call mine are, again, my honorable mention. I got to say, Legos, anything that was Legos, because I just would sit and just build. And I'd take them, like, I'd build it once, build whatever the thing was, right? And then everything would just go into a box, and then I just build other stuff. But it was just, it has to be an honorable mention because there were other stuff. Hold on. So
my oldest son loved Legos, but I'd have to oh my God, it's a puppy. It's a puppy.
Yep.
That is
one of the 5.
That is definitely a puppy, that's for sure.
Now, considering you're only 5 foot, that thing looks like a Great Pyrenees.
I know. He's not that big.
So border collie?
He is an Australian Shepherd.
He's an Aussie. Nice.
Yeah, we have 2 Aussies.
What's interesting, a lot of people like Aussie Shepherd. Oh, you got a dog from Australia? No, it's an American breed, actually. They just called it, and for some reason they called it an Australian Shepherd.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. He's a love.
He looks it. Look at him. Like he hasn't he's just like he's nuzzling into your neck and he's not moving. That's great.
Nope, this is what he wants all day long.
That's
and
great.
What's his name?
Opie.
Oh, hi Opie.
Gotcha.
Right.
Now, is there an Andy
or
is there an Anthony?
No. Nope.
Anyway,
we have a Theodore.
There you go.
Oh, because if you had an Opie, you kind of need a Barney, don't you?
You need a Barney. Barney's good. Barney's good for Anyway, all right. So Legos are my honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
And I had a Commodore 2 at some point years later or whatever, but that wasn't a Christmas thing. I bought it at. But anyway, so my number 3. Shocker on this one. Anything related to the New York Giants? Okay.
John came out of the womb rooting for the Giants.
I came out of the womb rooting for the Giants. I did. Anything. Caps, beanies, shirts, pennants, posters, whatever, anything.
Most kids come out bluish. John came out
blue and red.
Giants blue with red stripes.
With a little red and white. So
I had no choice but to come out a deadhead. I was born and raised by two dirty hippies.
There you go.
Dirty, not just regular hippies. Dirty hippies.
So you came out saying Jerry Garcia. I
came out singing Sugar Magnolia.
There you go.
That works. So you're used to songs being about 12, 15 minutes long.
It's long, right?
Yes,
exactly, right.
Very much so.
That's awesome.
People laugh all the time that I have like very old taste in music, but I give my parents all of that credit.
That's great. That's awesome. That's
not
actually
a bad
awesome.
thing.
That's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? My number 2 is actually in television. Do you remember in television?
Yes.
Okay. I had wanted Atari, right? Because all my friends had Atari. So, and everybody's, and it was a point where everybody's getting games, and everybody would get different games, so we could all exchange and just play them and everything else. And I guess if I'm recalling, because it's so long ago, that they were just out of Ataris or whatever. And the guy at the store, my father was there and so forth and so on, talking to him that, in television, the graphics are better. And they were. The graphics are better, blah, 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 blah. You need to get this. So he bought in television. And at first I'm like, oh, no, I wanted Atari. But all of my friends had Atari. So they all came over because they all had Atari. Nobody had a television. So it was just, we got to go to John's. He's got a television. So it was perfect.
I could not stand the controllers on that thing.
The controllers sucked. They were. But once you got used to them, they were all right. I mean, it wasn't, everybody else had joysticks, right, for the Atari. Yeah. But then you got this pad with this dial and these numbers. That's it. And
I came into the joystick age.
Sure.
Actually, I would figure you would have come in during the controller age.
My cousins were the ones that had the Atari. Like, I feel like I came in with like the PlayStation era. Okay. I mean, like we had the Nintendo too, which was awesome.
Sure.
Like all the Mario Kart originals, which was great. But I more so like we weren't ever really into video games, like my house as a whole. But I remember like our first like at home like system was Nintendo and the original PlayStation. But my cousins had the Atari. So it was always cool when we got to go to their house because it was something different.
Absolutely.
You know what my first in-home system was as a kid?
What's that?
How old can you get?
Well, I'll tell you what mine was.
It's the oldest you could possibly get.
Pong. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That was mine.
Boop. And the thing is, to play Pong, we had this controller on the back. That's when you switch between TV and...
Well, it was the same way for television and everything else. You had the controller, it's hooked into the thing. You switch it over. But yeah, countless hours on Saturday afternoons.
Your Phillips screwdriver would have come in very handy during that.
Right there.
Yeah, because you had to undo the nuts on the back of the TV,
put the forks in, and
then plug your antenna into that.
Absolutely, yeah. But endless hours on Saturday afternoons, just laying on the floor with my father with a dial going boop, boop, boop. That was it. Anyway, and my number 1, trains. Big train guy. Trains, yeah. Whether Lionel or Tycho.
Did you have the hat?
I did. I did. I obviously went back further with number 1 than I did with number 2 or number 3. But
it's funny.
But yeah, trains. Lionel or my father had sets that my grandfather had started buying my father before my father was born, like years before my father was born. So I actually have Lionel trains from like the 30s.
What gauge?
Yeah.
No, did I surprise you? What gauge?
Oh.
I'm joking.
I know.
Joking.
Oh. Anyway.
Gauge trains.
Gauge trains, yeah, exactly.
Not the ends.
Tycho too. I should put layouts too with the Lionel trains, and Tycho was HO scale. But what was cool is any of the Tycho trains came with catalogs, thick catalogs, all these different trains. That was part of my like early Christmas memories, sitting there after opening up everything, playing with stuff a little bit, sitting there reading through the Tycho train catalog. That was like part of Christmas for me, reading through that catalog. That was great. So
well, prior to Christmas for me, and kind of throwing an honorable mention, back when I was a little kid, maybe about the size of Leah, I was a huge Steelers fan. So the Macy's. I get
our
the
age
Macy's.
Who wasn't, right?
Right. Bradshaw, Stalwart,
Staubach.
Staubach.
Stallworth.
Staubach. Enemy team.
Well, hold on. Who is Terry Pritchard married to?
Staubach.
Jojo.
Staubach.
Jojo Starbuck. Yeah.
Yes. So I would just go through that and circle everything that was Steelers.
Sure.
And I would watch it in like my Steelers jacket, on my Steelers beanbag, with my Steelers beanie,
Sure.
big ball hat.
Of course. Well, I mean, they won 4 Super Bowls in our formative years.
Yes.
So, and the Giants, sorry, they sucked then. To be honest with you, they suck now worse than they did then. And I saw both. So, Leah, you have a sports allegiance for football?
The Eagles.
I figured.
Figured as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough though, because I'm about to marry a Steelers fan.
Ooh.
Well, that's what though. I mean, that's a Pennsylvania thing, and that's all well and good. But that's not. I mean, could you imagine if you were marrying? I mean, there's one thing that I always talk about with Eagles fans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. There's only one team that I hate. Only one team that I hate.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Absolutely.
Well, that's good.
Right. Could you imagine if he was a Cowboys fan? You wouldn't be marrying him, right?
My father would allow that.
So, my nickname is Jersey Johnny, and New Jersey is just like an easy part of that. It's because I collect jerseys. I'm a big jersey guy.
Oh, cool.
There's only one football team that I do not have any jerseys for. Right.
Yep.
I have Eagles jerseys. I don't have Cowboys jerseys.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Don't blame you.
There you go. So anyway, but yeah, no, that would have been really good, really bad. So I mean, it's not bad marrying. I mean, an Eagles fan marrying a Steelers fan. That's not bad.
It could be worse.
There you go. So, it's all right. It's all right in my book. So we're all good.
I'm still kind of a closet Pittsburgh fan.
Well, you know what my AFC team. If I have to, Denver was always my AFC team, but Pittsburgh has risen back again from the 70s to become one of my AFC teams. But you know what my second NFC team, Dave knows what my second NFC team is.
That would be the Packers.
That would be the Packers. I'm a Giants fan overall, but just under the Giants, I'm a Packers fan. So I do like Packers because as a Giants fan, you always need somebody to root for in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You don't have the Giants. So
not there anymore.
Not so
not
much,
since Eli left.
No. But then 2 years from now they'll win a Super Bowl and then they'll suck again. And then 5 years later they'll win a Super Bowl and then they'll suck again.
They're not going to win a Super Bowl with the team they've got.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they don't. They're not consistent. They just
Well,
But then again, neither are the Eagles though.
As an Eagles fan.
Neither are the Eagles. So
yeah.
Unless the team plane goes down and they get all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's not happening.
It's not happening. No.
No.
So it's just like everybody said, like Tom Brady. Okay, is he making Tampa better? No, Tampa was a great team before he got there. He put them over the edge. He did. I'll tell you that. But they had the nucleus there. If Tom Brady wants to prove that he's the best quarterback of all time,
bring the Jets.
Go to the Jets.
Yeah.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets. Bring the Jets to Super Bowl, and then you got it. Yeah. Anyway.
And he got Gronk to come out of retirement for that too.
He did.
Although
according to that one T-Mobile commercial, it was cell coverage that kind of screwed that up. That was.
Was it? I still can't get my shaker open.
Well, it sounds like a personal problem. While you try to get your shaker open, I'm going to go back to some mechanical stuff for.
I just realized this does not look very good on camera.
I know. You hold it up here, just so I don't know. Anyway, really beer releases. How often is a new beer released?
Well, I think with our anniversary, on average, there was like a new beer every other week or so.
Okay.
With our anniversary, we released 7 new beers for our anniversary weekend. So right now, I know that Rick took a little bit of a break. He has a lot of stuff in the works, which is awesome. But I feel like the whole year has kind of been a little inconsistent and playing around with what we're going through, what we need, what's selling, what's not.
Sure.
This whole first year has very much been trial and error.
Sure. Well, then that's the way it has to be, right? You're gonna okay, in your mind you could say, okay, well, we want these 4 beers to be flagships.
For sure.
And then you make some one-offs, and all of a sudden the one-offs are flying out the door, and some of the flagships are sitting there. You got to kind of switch things up,
For sure. Yeah. So what's nice is Rick and I work very closely. We keep a very close eye on beer sales, keg inventory. So Rick is very in tune with what's going on even on my end in the sense of like taproom sales and stuff like that.
Sure.
And we meet pretty regularly about, what should we do next? What should be up and coming? Hey, seasonal, what should we do? So Rick's been, you don't want to put out beer and then have it sit there.
No,
so despite the
definitely not.
anniversary, that was really the only time that we put such a massive amount of beer out on tap all at once. But for the most part, I would say we have like a new beer going on tap every other week or so.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we always have a really large list. There's at the least like 15 beers on tap.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I was there last, I did sit there for a while, and I did have all of them. I had a couple of full pours, and I had a couple of lights.
That's a long way to Uber.
No, yeah, well, I wasn't driving, so.
But nah, we always.
Happy birthday, Mike! You were driving. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, that's always one thing we always get compliments on is we always have a really large tap list, and we always offer options, not IPAs. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
We like to continue that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Doug Smith actually has a question for you.
Yeah.
He said, what are the core styles at Mechanical? The fact that you did a mild and one gold will have me stopping in for sure.
So I would say we have about 5 to 8 core beers that you will always find on tap. So our German light beer, the Leitch, that is essentially our version of like a Miller Lite. So for those that come in and they're like,
it's a German style light lager.
It is. It's super light. It appeals to everyone. So that one you will always find on tap. Our raspberry wit beer as well will always be on tap.
It was pretty tasty.
Our Baltic Porter.
Love it.
Always on tap.
I can drink it all day. I can drink it all day.
It's probably been one of our most popular.
In fact, I only had 2 pours of 2 different beers when I was there last, and it was the Baltic Porter and the mild. So
I love that. Yeah. But no, our Baltic Porter is definitely one of our core beers. We've been rotating between 3 IPAs in this past year. And that's been our Dos Ex Machina, our Strain, and our Entropy. So those 3 are our core main IPAs that you could find either one of those 3 on tap, give or take other one-offs of that recipe. Our Hazy Pale Ale. So we'll always have a Hazy Pale Ale on tap. It's our core series in the sense there's 4 different ones. So up until the end of this year, essentially, we will reach all 4. So it's tourbillon, flying tourbillon, gyro tourbillon, and triaxle tourbillon.
So tourbillon is the beer, and then it's
exactly
3 variants.
Wait a second. Triaxle. That's a skating term.
It also has to do with tourbillons.
Mechanics.
And watches.
Tourbillons, yeah. Right.
So.
But was it intentional that you got a skating term in there? Or?
No.
Nah. All right.
You stretched.
Let your name
it was cool. It was a good effort, but yeah.
But the tourbillon series will always be
triple
on
axle,
tap.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be triple axle. Yeah.
But yeah, there'll always be a tourbillon on. The Momentum Mild Ale has now become one of our core beers. So you will always find.
I wonder why.
But yeah, you'll always be able to find Momentum.
Could this be why? Oh, wait a minute.
Super exciting, but now we will always have that on tap.
For those of you listening on the audio podcast, I just put up the picture again that I put up earlier of them winning the gold at GABF, Great American Beer Festival, for the English style pale mild. So there you go.
So now John knows I like to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Why Mechanical Brewing? Why the name?
So that all stems from James, the owner. He does own another business that's called Finish Line, and they specialize in like car and truck detailing. So a lot of mechanics, and his grandfather was a machinist, which I think wholeheartedly inspired James himself to do a lot of the stuff that he does to date. Sure. Like our Baltic Porter is named after him. His name was Wayne Skull, and our Baltic Porter is the Skull beer.
Which in Swedish does that mean cheers?
I don't know. Does it? Is this a fun fact I should know?
Maybe. Hold on.
Oh, you
But,
check.
but yeah,
I
so a
mean,
lot
I
of
don't know why Matt and Brian aren't checking these things out. Why this is the third time you and I have checked things, whatever.
It means cheers.
I'm docking their pay. I mean,
yeah, we're cutting their pay in half.
But,
You're just cutting their pay in half.
That's pretty much the story behind that.
Meaning skull, written skull in Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish.
Uh-huh.
It means cheers.
Oh,
Spell
well,
it.
I love that
Spell
even now.
SKOL.
SKOL.
So, okay, so ours is SCULL.
There you go.
But either way.
So it's the brain casing.
There you go. You know what else skull is, right? SKOL is?
Shaw.
Well, isn't that has to do with the Minnesota Vikings?
Minnesota Vikings. That's their cheer, right? That's the cheer for the Vikings.
Because it's cheers.
Right. It's cheers, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be Norwegian.
Skull Vikings, cheers Vikings. It's what it is, yeah. And then and of course being a minor Packers fan.
You hate that cheer.
I actually don't hate it because I don't hate the Vikings because the high school I went to, you were the Jackson what?
Jaguars.
I was the North Arlington Vikings. So there you go.
Does that make sense?
That's what it was. So.
Well, yeah.
So anyway. All right. So what's coming up? Any releases you want to enlighten us on? Something interesting coming up on tap soon?
Yeah. So super excited. So we have an employee, Frank Hiller. He has been taking over our seltzer program.
Okay.
You have asked and you have received, people. So he did a small batch of a blueberry pancake seltzer that we released our anniversary weekend. It was a huge hit. So
would you consider that a pastry seltzer?
I don't know. I don't want to.
It's
inside joke.
It's an inside thing. It's an inside thing.
I hate the term pastry.
I know.
Related to beer.
I do too. I'd rather call it what it is and not put the.
We're waiting for the sour pastry milkshake seltzer.
Sour pastry milkshake seltzer. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I guarantee it's coming.
It's coming.
Well, they have the smoothie seltzers nowadays.
Yeah, well, I think we already have the milkshake ones. We've got the sour one. We've got the pastry one. We have seen a sour pastry seltzer.
Right.
Gross.
It's just a wait.
Sour pastry milkshake seltzer is what we need. So it's a sour pastry seltzer.
We do not need it.
We don't need it. It's coming, though. I guarantee
it's coming.
No, thank you. But yeah, so
Joe will let us know when it happens.
Our seltzer program is slowly getting kicked off, which I'm really excited for. We also now have put out an NA option, which is exciting. Like, we're doing our own craft sodas, which Frank is also working on that. We are a very kid-friendly brewery. We do get a lot of people that bring their kids.
Good. I could take Dave there then.
Yeah, we get a lot of designated drivers, which props to those being responsible.
Sure.
Makes me happy. And I do also have a lot of friends that are in NA programs and are living sober lives. So it is nice to have something for them to sip on and feel included and not just I'm drinking water because I'm driving.
Right.
So that makes me really happy to have and stand by.
Are you doing several sodas or are you doing just
We will, yeah. Right now, going on tap this week, we're calling it the Operator. That'll be the series. This one is POG, so it's passion fruit, orange, and guava. It's really good. I have given
passion fruit, orange, guava soda.
Yeah, I've given some customers some sneak taste of it. We've gotten great feedback. I do know also Frank's been working on a root beer, which that's the only soda I drink, so I'm really excited for that as well.
Ironically, you said that's the only soda I drink too. It's root beer.
Yeah, I love root beer, so I'm excited.
I'll drink soda. I'll drink root beer every day.
Me too.
Yeah. If I'm super thirsty and somebody has a Coke, I'm taking it. But the only soda I seek out is root beer. That's it.
Yep, for sure. So I'm really excited for that. And he has so many more ideas in the works, which is fantastic. As for on Rick's end, we will be putting out a winter warmer, which super excited for. I do love a great winter warmer. Excited to have that on tap.
Nice.
And that should be ready within the next week or so.
That's awesome. I love a good winter warmer. I'll be down.
Yeah, me too. And then
and you have kids there, so we could take Dave.
Yeah. Oh my God, absolutely.
We gotta wait till I come back.
Oh, and perfect. And they're dog friendly too.
Yes, 100%.
Which means I can bring John.
There you go.
Bring all the furry friends. And then we also have a Weizenbach that he's working on. Nice. That'll be coming out. Very excited for that.
John likes his box.
I like my box.
Yeah, you don't see Weizenbachs very often.
You don't.
So that's one thing I love about Rick. He's always brewing very obscure beers that you don't see on the average tap list at breweries nowadays. Like he just did too. He did a Schwartz beer, which is not the normal.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Is it on yet?
Yeah, that came on tap. That was one of the beers we released for our anniversary.
Right.
So yeah.
Pardon my French, I'm a Schwartz beer whore.
Absolutely. Like there's a huge market behind it, and not many breweries do it. So, you know, one of my favorite things about Rick, he's like, I want to do this, and he just does it. And
you do it. I mean, you know what? You see it a lot though. I mean, over the last year, I've been seeing a lot more Schwartz beers than you've ever seen before, and also dark Czech lagers, which are Czech Schwartz beers, basically. You know, so. And it's such an amazing style, and people are finally like, "Oh wow, this is actually good."
What I love
the
way that this industry is turning is you're seeing a lot of those old original style beers making a comeback.
Yeah,
like I am such a Pilsner and lager lover that when IPAs became such a thing, I was like, ugh. And then it turned into the milkshake IPAs, and then it turned into the smoothie sours. And I'm like, this is not the direction I want the industry to go in. So it's awesome. Like I use them as an example all the time, but it's like you have a brewery like Human Robot right in Philly that all they do is like thrive on Pilsners and lagers. I could sit there and drink in their tap room all day.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you knew it, but and they only opened this year. Cohesion Brewing out in Denver.
No, I haven't.
Just Czech lagers.
Put me
That's
in.
it. That's it.
Sign me up.
They brew nothing else. I mean,
Take my money.
They brew lagers. They brew Czech Pilsners. They brew dark Czech lagers and everything. But it's all Czech lagers. That's it. Not just lagers. Czech lagers.
Yeah.
That's it.
But see, what's so great though, like that's my point, is that the industry is now slowly migrating back to that, where I feel like for a while, like you would go to a brewery and all they had was IPAs.
Right.
100%. They would have like IPAs and one dark beer.
For a long time now, IPAs were keeping the lights on.
100%.
Yep.
And it's
now it's almost seltzers now that's doing it for some breweries, right?
Some breweries, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's starting to make that turn, and Leah's absolutely hit the nail on the head. It's starting to make that turn.
Nail on the head?
Yep.
She hit.
No, you said shit the nail.
She hit the nail on the head.
Shit the nail on the head.
She hit the nail on the head. She hit the nail on the head. I might have said it fast, but I didn't say shit the nail on the head. I said she hit the nail on the head.
I like
anyway, but my point is that there's people that are maybe we're just a little too heavy into the New Englands and the milkshakes and everything else, are actually starting to discover that there are.
I lived in Rhode Island.
Other styles, and, of course you did. Yeah, you can talk more about it than I can.
Sure. I want to see West Coast IPAs starting to make more of a comeback in South Jersey.
Absolutely.
There was a brewery I lived 4 blocks away from, and they had 2 core IPAs. I really think their West Coast was the better IPA, but it was so lowly rated compared to their New England IPA because they're in New England.
But also like that's the tough part with Untapped. You get a lot of people, and like even from a brewery perspective, not even just a personal perspective, but you get these people that are like, oh, I drink hazy IPAs, but I'm going to order a West Coast or a Pilsner, and
they don't get them.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't.
Why can I say? Why can I?
But I ordered a stout, and I'm going to give it a 1-star rating. Like
that's what I hate the worst. You order a style you don't like, and then you give it a 1 rating.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's a bad beer. Don't rate it. Just don't rate it. Just 100%. Don't rate it.
And that's like the biggest, from like a business perspective, people don't really realize how harmful Untapped could be. And it's like, if there's ever a beer, like hands down, you could ask anyone that I associate with, the biggest beer that I despise and the only beers I will not drink are Rausch style beers. So anything that has the littlest bit of smokiness to it, like I will taste it, but ew.
Thank you.
I will taste it, but I won't give it a rating. I'll check it in so that I can remember that I tried it, but I will never rate a beer that I know that I do not like.
Sure.
I will rate it.
It could be done very well. It could be done exactly how it's supposed to be.
It can be amazing, but you don't like it.
But
so
that's not exactly. So why
that's
are
how I
people
rate
checking in stouts if they don't drink dark beer? Because now it's harming the brewery and our business.
Exactly.
But
So,
that's I will rate a beer on how well it's brewed, even if I like the style or not.
yeah.
There's
It's like if you want to keep track of what
but
you're
you have a
drinking,
palate
go
that can
ahead. You don't have
discern
to
that.
put a rating.
You have a palate that
that's
can
the whole
discern
thing.
that. There's some people out there that'll just like, oh, I like New England IPAs. This beer is way too resiny, way too hoppy, way too earthy.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 0.5. No,
Yeah,
it's a 5. It's a fantastic West Coast IPA, but because you don't like it, you're giving it a 0.5 and you're lowering every. Yeah, you can't do that.
You know damn well my hop palate. I don't like the dank ones. I don't like what Jesse Garrity would refer to as the cat piss beers. Right.
That's what Zeppy loves to drink.
Zeppy likes the cat
We
piss
laugh
beers.
about it all the time.
But you like Simcoe.
But Simcoe depends on what it's with. It doesn't always throw cat piss.
Weyerbacher Double Simcoe. You don't like Weyerbacher Double Simcoe?
No, I love double Simcoe, but you remember I like it better in the bottle.
That's true.
It's not as quite cat piss in the bottle.
That's true.
It's creamier. You get more of the citrus out of it when it's in the bottle. But I can understand that some of these beers, let's face it, some of a lot of the most popular beers coming out of Treehouse. You've got the glass right there. A lot of these are the cat piss IPAs, right? Or that onion skin.
Onion skin, right?
Right. Yeah, no, oniony, and I don't like onions either. So, I sort of. So, I can identify that. Hey, this is a damn good beer.
Mm.
Sure.
I don't like it.
Again, you have the palate for that. You can do that. There are people out there that don't. I'll give you a quick for instance, really quick, and then we can wrap that up. I'm at a brewery. I won't mention which one. I'm standing there. There's not only a couple people in there. I'm standing there with the beer tender, if you will, and we're BSing back and forth, he and I. And these two guys walk in, and they're in their early 20s. They're 21, 22, 23 tops. And they walk in, and one guy had been there before, clearly, and the other guy was his first time. The guy that walked in, ordered what he wanted, boom, and walked away. And the other guy's standing, and he's looking at. There's 24 taps and a cask engine, right? And he's looking at all of them, and he's like, and he's just standing there. Me and the bartender are BSing. Finally, the bartender says, "Excuse me," walks over to him. He says, "Can I help you narrow it down?" He said. And the guy said, "Sure." He says, the bartender says, "What style do you like?" He says, "I'm a huge IPA fan. I love IPAs, but you have like 9 IPAs up there, and I'm trying to figure out which one is best." He says, "All right, it's slow. I'm gonna help you out here. I'm gonna do you a favor." He says, I'm gonna give you a little taste of each. When you find one you like, stop me, and I'll pour you a full pour of it, and that's your beer." Mm-hmm. Great guy, right? So, boom. Pours him the first one. He pours him their flagship IPA. It's West Coast IPA, right? Pours him a taste of it. He takes a sip of it, almost does a spit take, and says, "Oh, my God, that's disgusting. It's so damn bitter." The guy said, the bartender says, I thought you said you liked IPAs.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
No, he likes orange juice is what he liked. That's what he likes. So that's and I'm not faulting him. He's just getting into it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody has their style. Don't rate the beer.
Yeah.
Don't rate the beer. That's it.
Well, one of my favorite questions is just from experience, it's not a matter of what style do you like. I go, what is your go-to beer? Like if you were to go to the liquor store and buy a beer at home, what would you buy to take home?
Right.
And then that tells me what they really like. Because I have people coming in saying that they like IPAs, but their go-to beer is a Stella. I'm not going to give them my double IPA from the tap.
Slightly different style.
They're an IPA fan, but their go-to beer is Stella. That's
yeah,
good.
I had a guy telling me our anniversary weekend how much he loves Belgian beers and he loves the wheat and this and that. And I'm like, okay, all right. I give him samples of like a million different beers, almost all of them on tap, because every time he was like, no. And then I go, all right, we're going to play this game. What do you buy at home? What do you like to drink at home? And then he was like, oh, I like this. And I'm like, well, what? Okay. You should have said that first.
Please tell me it wasn't Blue Moon.
No, he was the Stella.
Well, he likes Belgian beers, so he's the Stella guy, right?
Yeah,
he likes Belgian beers. He's a Blue Moon drinker, right?
Blue Moon's Belgian beer.
But it was just like, it's one of those things I'm always like, don't tell me what style you like, because a lot of times people unfortunately think they know what style they like, but it all comes down to what beer you're buying.
What beer you're buying. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's good.
Yep.
That's a good way to look at it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, all right. Anything coming down the pipe? Releases next year, stuff you're planning to do next year, events maybe?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely keep an eye out on our social media. Follow us at Mechanical Brewery, both Instagram and Facebook. Definitely keep an eye on our website as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep us as busy as possible. So I'm always trying to plan fun events. Like last weekend, we had a comedy show. Cricket Comedy does phenomenal work. They always get great comedians in. We have a bar and beer event. So like a yoga event, Pilates event coming up in January.
Nice.
Our neighbors, ironically enough, by the brewery are canine resorts.
Really?
Ooh,
Yep.
nice.
So naturally it digs at my heartstrings because I
Yep.
love me some dogs.
Do you really? I mean, you only have 5,
You never
Love the puppers.
It's my favorite part of the day when people bring their dogs in. But
That's great.
yeah, so we're doing a Barks and Brews event.
Nice.
We're trying to plan like a release and coincide with that as well.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely keep an eye on our social media. We have a ton of stuff coming up. Hopefully distributing to bars and restaurants soon in the near future.
Very
All right.
nice.
So
Very
keep your
nice.
eyes
Very nice.
on some local taps.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah,
And,
that would be
and
our
we'll-
next step.
We'll keep you posted too. Anything that if there's going to be an announcement, if they're going to be distributing or releasing anything outside the brewery or anything they're doing or whatever, we'll throw it up on our Instagram and our on our Facebook as well. So
Yes.
Appreciate it.
cool. Anything else you want to tell anybody before we go?
Nah.
Stop by the brewery. Have
Yeah,
a beer.
stop by the brewery.
Enjoy.
I'm always
There's-
there. I feel like people get intimidated about like my Instagram, and people will message me afterwards being like, I was there, but I didn't want to bother you. Like, no, there's nothing I love more than like meeting people that follow me and engage with me on Instagram.
What was the first thing I did when I walked in a brewery? I bothered you. I didn't even order a beer. I bothered
But
you.
it's okay. Like, I
bothered
live for that.
everybody.
I live for like meeting my followers and people outside of just my phone. I don't want anyone to ever hold back introducing themselves. Like,
Right.
It's my favorite part of my day. It's what makes my job as great as it is. But yeah, please say hi to me, even if I'm hiding in the office. Like, please
Leah,
tell me
get
if
out
you're-
here.
Yeah,
You just give everybody permission to break into the office.
There you go.
100%. Like, scream. Like, the office literally sits right by the bar, so you can easily just be like, Leah, are you back there?
There you go.
So
That's
yeah,
great.
say hi to me. I love meeting people.
Sure.
So,
Absolutely.
you
This
guys
is
are the
more-
reason.
But more so
we
dogs.
are.
more so dogs.
And
yeah.
dogs. There's definitely a dog. Definitely get me. Usually I can hear it before they even walk in the
If you're
door.
walking with a dog, don't even think about it. Just make a beeline for Leah.
Yep. I keep dog treats under the registers.
Done. Perfect.
Don't tell the dogs.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. All right. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to you after we sign off for a couple of seconds before we go. But so don't sign off. We'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LEGERROM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 6:30.
Ish.
There you go.
Thank you.
Around 6:30. I've been busting his chops for months now, but around 6:30. There you go. For those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. Plus, the show is now available on Amazon Music Podcasts and iHeartRadio as well.
I followed today on iHeart.
There you go. Beautiful.
That way
Finally.
I never miss a show.
Then you never miss a show. There you go. I hope you don't anyway. Anyway. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds just like the Samurai did, and you will never miss a show. There you go. Again, thanks for following along with us. One thing, quick
What's neat,
scheduling.
If you go on iHeartRadio and you type in Logger,
Mhm.
our podcast pops up first.
First, we're number one. There you go.
Number one.
iHeartRadio.
Number one.
There you
That gave me the feels.
go. Gave you the feels. There you go.
That gave me some nice warm fuzzy feels.
Which we got. So did you have kind of like a warm embrace yourself kind of thing?
That might be a little later.
Later on, yeah.
In
right,
private.
Okay. Anyway.
Not on camera.
All right. One scheduling note. Next week's show is not on Tuesday. It's on Monday because Mr. Samurai will be in Florida, and he can't on Tuesday because of scheduling conflicts with his daughter's birthday. So,
some things are more important.
But there are more important things, but absolutely. But because he's on Monday, he's going to be coming to you live from Nobo Brewing.
In
Boynton Beach.
And we're either going to have the owners, which are brothers, which will be appropriate since I'll be there with my brother.
There you go. It's going to be a Brothers Day, and will Dennis be on the show too?
Darren. Well, if the brothers aren't on the show, Darren will be on the show, and we'll drag Darren on the show, even if the brothers are on the show.
Can Dennis be on the show, though? Can we get Dennis on the show?
I will ask around the brewery, around the tap room, and see if there's a Dennis on hand.
Right, there you go.
And bring him on.
Bring him on with Darren.
We'll bring him on with Darren.
There you go. All right. So anyway, he's going to be coming to us live from Nobo Brewing. So we'll be doing that next Monday night, same time, but on Monday instead of Tuesday.
We have no plans after that, do we?
Well, no, of course. On the following week, New Year's week, will be our producer.
They're all taking turns.
They're all taking turns. There you go.
I've neglected them for too long.
Folks, you're listening to the audio.
Which puppy is this?
This one's Theodore.
That is Theodore. Theodore's got a lot more brown on him.
He's the
Now, is there an Alvin and a Simon?
All the others, he's my favorite.
Is there an Alvin and a Simon?
No.
No. I keep asking for these other connections, but
what are the other names?
Penelope, Pippa, and London.
Penelope, Pippa, and London. So Opie, Theodore, Penelope, Pippa, and London.
Yeah.
With Penelope, you need a dastardly as well, don't you?
Dastardly. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Folks, if you're just listening to the audio podcast, you're going to want to check out the Facebook or YouTube video podcast. You can see these precious dogs. They're
beautiful
awesome.
dogs.
Beautiful dogs.
Beautiful dogs.
Anyway, so yeah, the week after that will be Matt will be on the show with Dave and I, and we'll be talking.
Matt?
Yes,
we know so many damn Matts.
Matt Patensky, our
that
Matt.
Matt.
Yeah, we'll be talking big beers for New Year's Eve. That's what we'll be talking that day.
Oh my God, I still got to think of them.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's going to be our last show of the year.
It's gonna be our last show of 2021.
We're probably going to get tanked.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, probably going to get tanked.
Anyway, all right, that won't be on Tuesday though. But next week's Monday, live from Nobo. Enjoy, folks. Again, have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Cheers. Take care.
Cheers. Again, thanks, Leah.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you so much for coming on, Leah.
Absolutely. It was fun.
Appreciated all of it. It's been a great show. Thank you.